Let's talk about your story with anger. I understand because when I was maybe from the ages 15 to maybe 20, I'd be one of the angriest young men you could ever meet. And a lot of that stemmed from me not knowing my father growing up or me not having any contact with him. I didn't enjoy any aspect of my life outside of football, and that was because I was now moving into a place where I was trying to discover my identity, and I was struggling. Now, my mother was great, although she's a single parent. She didn't abuse me, she didn't neglect me. However, there was times that there was insight of who I was that I could not get from my mom, and it really confused me. It really hurt me, and I grew this exterior shell that said, don't bother me. I didn't make any friends. I wasn't socially connecting with anybody or anything outside of football. And so when I really got into the military, my first few years was really tough. I didn't trust anybody, especially any leadership. I just didn't know how to trust men with my life. And I considered myself, and everyone saw me as just the angriest person. And it was like, hey, do you need to talk to somebody? And it was like to that point where people always wondering, like do something to them, or would I hurt somebody or something like that? Because I never took any actions because I was angry. I just went inside of myself about everything, and it changed completely who I was as far as personality. It labeled myself and I identified myself as an introvert, but it wasn't true. I was an extrovert who didn't understand how to articulate or deal with the fear, the grief, the hurt, the unmet needs. So whenever you're feeling super angry, really it's a signal, it's information that something is wrong. It is not your identity. It's not who you are. Do you have to talk to somebody? Yep. Are you going to have to figure it out? Yep. And the anger subsided for me when I started to realize or start to accept that my father was never going to be there, and that I had to build who I was for myself. And I had to forgive myself, and then I had to learn to love him, although he didn't really take a place in my life. That was hard. That was a process. It took time, but it transformed me. And the anger was no longer a part of who I was. Every once in a while, there's glimmers of the face that shows, but to the core of who I am, it's not there anymore. Anger is not your identity. It's you trying to find a way to deal with something that's painful. Spend some time doing that, figuring out what is it that you're really upset with, so you can tell yourself the proper story. Remember that the goal is growth. Growth happens in the journey. Enjoy it.